Joining us now on ICANN Media, I'd like to introduce you to, first, Ahmad Saleh with Wraith Engineering and Manufacturing in Kuwait. Thank you for being here today.
Thank you.
And with Ahmad is Sandra LeBlanc with Canada Arab Business Council. Thank you for being here as well.
It's great to be here today.
So tell me about your involvement here at the Petroleum Show. Why is this an important event for you?
Well, I act as the president of the Canada Arab Business Council, and we have a booth every year, and our members go from Newfoundland right across to Vancouver, and we are all interested, invested in, or working in the Middle East, in the Arab-speaking world. And that's one of the reasons. And of course, we're in the oil and gas business, a number of our members in the oil and gas business. And the opportunity to have our colleagues here from a number of the countries today with Kuwait, this is just showing the people that are attending here the huge opportunities that are out in the Middle East. And today, I just thought it would be great to raise the profile a bit of Kuwait and the opportunities of working with companies like the Kuwait Petroleum Organization and its number of companies, and with the Kuwait companies that work with KOC. And the arrangements of which our visitors can do is to work with gentlemen like our visitor here and come and invest and work in Kuwait, and you end up with a two-way street, because we have a lot of Kuwaitis that invest in Canada as well. And if they enter into joint ventures or arrangements, whatever the business arrangement is, it is the Kuwait business sector that does that. And of course, the Kuwait business sector is right here. And I just thought it was a great opportunity to talk to him.
Well, Ahmed, tell us about some of the opportunities that might be available in Kuwait.
Well, the top issue and the highest priority is the development of heavy oil in Kuwait. There's huge reserves in Kuwait territory and in the partitioned neutral zone between Kuwait government and Saudi government. Reserves are huge. Currently, there's a tender issued, and the closing is 15th of July for a tender worth $4.5 billion. Canadians, as experts, especially Alberta, in heavy oil, they are the preferable companies and source of expertise to support such projects. And Kuwait are looking forward for, tying themselves up with Canadian companies specialized in engineering, procurement, managing real heavy oil projects in Alberta. And this is a golden opportunity. I would encourage every Canadian company who has expertise in this domain not to be scared, not to be afraid. There is a process to be followed, and this is not scary. If you have all the parameters to apply for a visa to enter a country, you go apply and get your visa. Similarly, as a newcomer to the country, you have to submit your CV, at least for the client to evaluate, are you really up to manage huge projects or not? So I do encourage all Canadian companies, expertise in each in his domain, to go and try it, not to expect payment before they move. No. Unless you invest money, you will not get money.
Are you getting much interest shown from Canada?
Very much, very much. This show, for me, as a business development manager, this is the most successful one. Number one, because of the new technologies and the meetings I had with potential companies to associate in heavy oil industry. This is number one. Number two, from my expanding of networking with the Canadian, Alberta, Ontario, and others. So I have a long experience in the oil field. I'm trying to help the Canadian company as Canadian, encourage them to go and do business in Kuwait.
Sandra, I imagine if people aren't sure about what steps to follow, that's where your organization might come in and help point people in the right direction?
Absolutely, we certainly will. And it's a membership organization. You join like you do with other associations. The difference with the Canada Arab Business Council is all of Canada. Yeah. And as the large organization, small and medium, but they all have experience of some sort to share with other members. We also do missions in country, missions out of country. We welcome guests constantly. We have long-time associations, so we trust each other. We know each other. And I think that's what's key. You're able to come in and introduce and meet people because we know each other. Just like with the company we're standing here with, Catch Can. They're there. They're outside working in the fields. Other companies, I mean, we look across at international companies that are right behind us. These companies
Sorry to interrupt.
No, go.
Represent Canadian companies from Alberta. I have 3 companies. Already we have contracts with Kuwait Oil Company. I have a couple of Ontario companies. We are participating in the $4.5 billion project in water treatment and steam generation. Steam generation, we have the state-of-the-art 90% quality steam. This is a company called Innovative Steam Technologies. It is a part of Aecon company, the major infrastructure in Canada. And we have others from Quebec. So I am building up my portfolio from the Canadian companies and encourage them. I give them good guidance. So I'm always there for anything from Canadian government to support the Canadian businessmen and companies.
Well, tell me, I mean, looking at the Catch Can flyer, well, not flyer here, but poster, they're talking about rig safety and the zero spill system. How important is looking after the environment and rig safety as well? How important is that in Kuwait?
I tell you, the HSE issue was ignored for so many years in that part of the world. Now, HSE is number 1 before production. But it depends how you approach the client, where you start. If you start with the right people, then they will help you to move forward. But if you start selecting people who doesn't know about the industry, what is the objective of this on the rig, why we use this, you need to have somebody with good petroleum knowledge in the industry to guide the companies who like to move forward. This is the main thing, and I encourage the Canadian companies to change their attitude towards doing business internationally. Yes, it is slow, but as long as it's slow and you reach to positive results, this is what you want,
Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you as well, Sandra.
Thank you.
All right.
Now you should.